Donna,
Yes.
I'm going to you. Then I'm going to Pastor Tucker. I'm going to Mocha. Let's keep this tight. I want to make sure I got plenty of room for Mocha. We're already 45 minutes into the show. Mocha's been in the room since the top. Go ahead, Donna. Right. What are your problems?
Well, the cheese eating, popcorn eating, So I would say I like carbs.
You love? Oh yeah, I love
and
carbs.
And that's where I have my most, because I'm not really a big sweets eater.
Okay, really?
No, but I am a huge, I love carbs. I love pasta, cooked spaghetti, stuff like that, because I'm Italian at heart.
Okay.
So breads. I love a good bread.
Are you wheat bread or white bread?
I don't care.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? The way she said that.
She said, "Oh, I don't care. Oh my God, I just love bread."
The reckless abandon. The way she said that.
I love sourdough. I love dinner rolls. I love wheat bread.
Dinner rolls.
I love pumpernickel.
She said, "I'll take communion wafers."
That tastes good too.
I'll take
Sunbeam. I show up for communion.
Yes. Captain Dijon, I'll take it. Whatever. Oh, that was fun. That was priceless.
Yes.
You cannot beat that level of honesty. I don't care. I just love bread.
Bread. I think I think pizza. Oh my God. And I'm going to tell you this. This is crazy, but and not to, but there's a chain of pizzerias.
Okay.
A chain.
Okay. That
when I moved south, I couldn't find a nice New York slice that I loved.
Okay.
So I gravitated towards it's like a little. I don't want to give. Can I say?
Go. You say it. You say it.
Okay.
Say
well,
it.
I love Little Caesar.
Okay, really?
And I will order Little Caesars.
Okay.
When they come, I will take them and put them in the oven because they don't make the bottom crust real good. They don't do it but when you put it in the oven, that bottom crust gets nice and crispy.
Wow.
Oh, that's
wow. Wow.
Yes. Followed by a Red Bull.
Wow.
No, but
bad on top of bad. Like, you might well drunk some liquor if you drink some doggone. You might well had you a shot, dog.
But I do. That's my thing. Carbs. Unhealthy carbs, because you can have complex carbs.
Yeah,
and they stay in your system.
This is good. Now, I appreciate y'all honesty. Regina Jackson is on Facebook. What's up, Regina? How you doing, ma'am? Regina Johnson Jackson. I want to get all of that in. I want to leave nothing off. Hey, y'all, listen. Make sure y'all share the room. Please share the room. Okay, Pastor Tuck. No deflecting and no gaslighting. Pastor Tuck. What are your foods that you have an issue with?
Thank you, Pop Earls. I just looked at his comment. Thank you, Pop Earls.
See, you keep calling it deflecting, and I'm telling you honestly, I don't have an issue with food. You don't understand. I can go all day without eating. It don't bother me. Everybody else in my house we gotta have something to eat. I'm just telling you, I'm not addicted to food. Like I said, the only thing I'm addicted to is fruit.
Okay, but
you can give me fruit or
Pastor Tuck. You eat pork rinds.
Yes, I do. And I do that to keep me out of eating stuff like chips and stuff like that. I don't consider pork rinds bad.
Pork rinds is salt. It's fried fat. It's fried fat, sir.
You can bake them.
It's some of them are baked, but for the most part, it's fried fat with salt and preservatives. Now, if you cook the pork rinds,
I eat crackling. I don't eat rinds.
Crackling is worse. What are you talking about?
Hey.
Do y'all see
if that's what you consider bad, that's what you consider bad.
It's called gaslighting.
That's what you consider bad. That's what you consider bad. It's protein.
Now, do you eat the pork rinds like the real ones, Pastor Tuck, that has a little bit of fat on the outside of it, and you can
most of it don't even have no fat on it. It's just a hard crackling.
Oh.
Okay. All right. Okay.
I like a little bit of fat on it.
Like I said, the bread get like I said.
I've been talking to Pastor before. I've been on the phone with Pastor, and I'm like, and the brand I get, I actually a Christian company that make them.
Oh.
Do y'all see the deflecting and the gaslight? Like that somehow make the Chick-fil-A is a Christian company, but if you eat a bunch of Chick-fil-A, that is hot. Like that, it's not garbage, but it's bad for you. Chick-fil-A, it is fast food. It is processed food. It is made with chemicals that are not natural. Mocha, let's get Mocha on this conversation.
Mocha,
look,
come on, McDonald's.
Look, this is the thing. Yeah. This is the thing. You drink Red Bull. You eat out all the time. You eat 112 things. I got one thing that I like, and then you talking about me gaslight. See, you try to pull me in the boat with you.
I am honest about.
I don't overeat. I don't eat late.
Have I ever?
I don't drink sodas.
Pastor
no,
Chuck,
you talking about gaslight? No, I don't.
Eat late. I've talked to you, sir. Me and you've been friends for a
long
time.
What I'm saying,
me and you talk in the morning. We talk late at night. I've been phone.
Listen,
gentlemen, we can't hear either one of you.
Hold on. Listen up. When I'm talking eating late, I don't eat food late. Only thing I'm eating at that time of night is fruit. Ask Papa Earls.
Okay.
Yep. Kimberly Morgan said, "Everybody, calm down."
Because I be trying to gaslight somebody. No. He always accusing somebody of gaslight.
Right. Mocha, come on in here. First of all, before we get started, Mocha, is crackling and pork rinds anything that you should be eating?
No.
Thank you for your honesty.
Well, let me ask you this, Mocha. One bag of crackling a day, and I'm talking a very small bag, like a bag of small chips.
But that's not good.
Is that better than eating fast food 3 times a day, drinking 3-4 Red Bulls and energy drinks?
For the record,
and drinking sodas and eating sweets all day. Which would you prefer?
Look, I wouldn't do either one.
No. If those are your choices, which one?
Look,
he pulled me in with the Red Bull. That ain't right. I wasn't even in there.
I'm like, don't do that. I was like, okay, look. I was like, either way it goes, none of them are good for you. Even if you do, that's like a little bit of poison on your food every day. You know, like your seasonings.
Yeah.
Eventually, it's gonna catch up to you.
Yeah.
Exactly. But that's my point.
It's gonna catch up to you.
And that's my point. But the whole thing is, everybody got something on their diet.
Everybody got something.
Exactly.
Corey, my good friend, my brother-in-law, comedian Corey Johnson, has a great joke, and he said, food is the only thing, the only drug that people take. Just eat a little bit of it. People don't say that. You talking about a little bit of crack every once in a while. That don't hurt. It's like a little bit of cocaine that don't hurt every once in a while. But it's if it's bad, it's bad. And I'm not saying I'm not. And listen, y'all, I'm not for full transparency. I'm not throwing Pastor Tuck under the bus. I'm cutting up, but I am being honest about this. There's some things in my diet that I know I should not be eating. I'm telling you, I eat Oreos. I should not be eating Oreos. Period. In the discussion, even people talking about Oreos are vegan. What does that mean?
What does that mean?
People say that all the time. That is foolishness, right?
So sweet.
Like this is my thing. If you're gonna do something wrong, do it wrong, and don't make excuses about it.
Right.
So, but Mocha, come on in. First of all, again, Mocha Toss is a Kingdom nutritionist. I love that title, and she came up last week and blessed us so much at the end of the show. I asked her to come back today. She graciously did, and has been patiently waiting while we got started. Mocha, come on in, and so you heard what Jason described his eating habits and some of the things he does. You heard Donna's, you heard Pastor Tuck's, and you heard mine. So what's your thoughts about what we eat just immediately before we get into the other stuff?
Okay.
Can I ask Mocha one question before she gets started?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
What's yours, Mocha?
Mine are figs.
Figs.
I was like, as a diabetic, I'm not supposed to be having sweet stuff, and I have a thing for figs and dates. I was like, that's my jam. I'll sit there and eat the whole thing if you let me, and so I have to portion it out because I already know me.
Okay, Mocha, can you turn your volume up a little bit, or you get a little closer to your phone or your microphone, whichever one you're on? And then let me ask you this: while you're doing that, are you talking about fig Newtons, or are you talking about figs, the fruits, the actual figs?
I'm actually talking about the actual figs. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I'm actually talking about the figs.
Okay. See, Mocha doing good. She just.
Well, the thing is, I have this thing with I like texture. And so they're kind of squishy, but they're kind of dehydrated but squishy at the same time. I'd be like, oh yeah, this is good.
So these are like dried figs.
Yeah, a little bit. I was like, but they're not all the way. They're not like apricots. Apricots, I don't like those dehydrated. But first of all, as a diabetic, I ain't supposed to be having none of this. And I'm supposed to be using them just when my blood sugar is low. But every now and then, I'd be like, ooh, look, it's figs.
So I'm gonna go back to that because I definitely want to talk about how you overcame and were able to have a breakthrough with managing your diabetes, particularly because it came at a very young age. But before we get to that, in terms of Pastor Tuck asked a question about what's yours, but you heard what are ours, and what do you think about that? Because I mean, there's a lot of talk in a lot of schools, different. If you're on YouTube, if you're on Facebook, if you're on Instagram, you're gonna see several different thoughts in different categories of what you should and should not be eating. But what do you think about what we are eating based on what we said, and what is it doing to us?
Okay, so portion size, that's a huge thing.
Okay.
We were just talking about that the other day. I was like, we went to a restaurant. There's only 3 of us in the household. And we went to a restaurant. We went to a Louisiana Charlie's or whatever that is. I was like, I don't know if that, look, I like barbecue. I'm from Kansas City. So barbecue is my jam. So I was like, okay, we were supposed to be going to the movies. Instead, we just stopped at the barbecue place. I was like, we ain't got time, whatever. Long story short, we didn't hopped in there, and so we was trying to make it fast. And so, because we was about to be late to the movie, we're like, okay, we ordered one portion, or like one plate. I was like, and it was half a chicken. I was like, a side of greens and a side of mac and cheese. I don't like mac and cheese, and I don't particularly like their greens. It's nasty. But anyway, I was like, it's okay.
Say that part again about the mac and cheese.
No, don't say it. Don't say it.
But
nobody else agrees with y'all.
Look, the girl, the waitress, she looks at us because we said give us 3 plates, and she was like, looking at us like y'all cheap. No, it's not that. Is that off that one plate?
Yeah.
The 3 of us ate fine, just fine. And I was like, and we were all full off of, and I was thinking that's a portion size. They're handing that to one person to eat.
So your family, everybody in your family eats the same way that you eat, or just about?
I was like, just about. I was like, we're all healthy in our own right. I was like, my daughter probably the least of the bunch because she's 15.
Okay.
So she's been around me her whole life, so she knows what she shouldn't be eating. And she'll look at me and start laughing and say, Mom, I already know what chemicals are in it, but I need one. Bless her heart. But it's for the fact that, the portion size that they're handing everybody at your fast food restaurants, that you're handing out at the restaurants, if 3 people can eat off of one plate and be full, and you got one plate and one person eating that, I was like, I don't understand how I was like, do you know how much you eaten? I was like, you can't burn all of that off, not at that time of day. And
I'm a big eater. I'm portion control. Is definitely one of my issues and vices I have to work on, because if I like something, I eat it in abundance, whatever that thing is. And my children are particularly the boys. They're big eaters too. Like Jaleel, ironically, is not this biggest child of mine. He's probably he used to be the smallest. Elijah's a little smaller now, but he's a huge eater. He'll eat. Like, I'm like, hey man, look, everybody else got to eat too, sir. Like, pump your brakes. But we are like literally like big eaters, and that's something that we got to work on. Let me read some of y'all comments, and I want to get into Mocha's conversation. I want to get into the conversation with Mocha about diabetes and how she overcame it. Pastor Tuck overcame diabetes as well. Leslie actually said, is like, that is not a treat. Yeah, that's not a treat. I do, Leslie, I do like figs. But I definitely like fig Newtons, and that's I should not be eating that. Paul Briggs said, I'm looking for the 700 Club clip of Jason Earls. I found the TBN. Since I'm in Virginia Beach today, I might make the trip to the CBN 700 Club studios on Centerville Turnpike. Listen, Paul, If you can find it, please just go by there and put in an official request and tell them you want to get that footage. Ashley Bailey said, true story, my former doctor tried to get me to go vegan, but I told him I'm Jamaican and oxtail and curry goat and chicken is Jamaican right and privilege. Hilarious. He's no longer my doctor. Hilarious. Kimberly Morgan said, portion control, eating on time, and stress eating are mine. Thank you for your honesty, Kimberly. Stress eating is mine too. Sometimes I'll be eating something and I'll be like, you know, this is emotional eating. I say, I know it's emotional eating. I'm still eating it. I'm still eating this roll and a half of Oreos. Leslie actually said, and doing that amount 2 to 3 times a day, we all don't have the calorie capacity of linemen like Pastor Tuck. Yeah, because if you're eating whatever that, if you're eating a big meal and you're not doing anything to burn it off, that's sitting on you. And so,
and see, and the thing is, that's the misnomer. I probably eat less than Leslie Ashley does.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying, Pastor Tuck, you know, I tell you all the time. I say you eat more fruit. I tease him. I said, Joker he should be extremely regular. Much fruit is he? It's like like his system should be clean. But so Mocha. But talk about you share your testimony about diabetes. How old were you when you were first diagnosed with diabetes, and what did you immediately do?
Okay, so I was 9 years old. I was in a coma. So,
wow.
And so I was, look, a couple of prophetess people, they told me that was when the Lord downloaded my, here, this is what you go do. I was like, oh, wow. that makes sense, but okay. Came out of that, and I was fine, but it was for the fact, my mom, I gave it to my mom. My mom, she cleared everything out of the house, everything that had sugar, because I was one of those little kids that used to jump up on the counter because the cereal was on top of the refrigerator. Yeah. So I would jump up on top of the counter on Saturday morning. Look, they sleep. We good. I have that big old bowl of cereal and be watching my cartoons with the milk. Yeah. So my mom, she got rid of everything. And that's what I was talking about last week. My dad, I feel bad for him because he's the bread eater. He loves bread. He loves cheese. That's his thing. My mom got rid of it all. So my poor dad, he was buying bread and keeping it like donuts and bread and stuff in his trunk of his car. He would disappear. He'd be like, yeah, I need to go work in the garage. And he'd disappear for a little bit. I'd go out there. He got a mouth full of stuff. I wasn't eating nothing. So, you know, it was my mom's doing. And so my mom kept us on, it was a strict diet. It was like when I went under, everybody kind of went under with me. And so my younger brother, my dad, we all kind of, my mom did portion control. So her thing was peanuts and raisins. So she would make little baggies full of peanuts and raisins, you know. And then as a kid, it's a little bit difficult because, you know, you got your Halloween, you got your, you know, all your little holidays. That's all it is candy. And, you know, I'll be upset, be looking around at the kids like, okay, and they handed me an apple.
So, okay, let me ask you this, because that's an interesting point. That you essentially, when you were a child, you had to watch everybody else eat, and you knew that you could not eat that. And so would you say that helped you? Because I always say I've always had a chubby, you know, fat gene. I knew, dude. To this day, I can pick up weight quick. I can lose it quick. I'm always managing my weight, right? And I don't do anything unhealthy, but I always like, hey, you need to slow down, player. My question to you is, but I think that helped me because of that. I've always had to manage that. I've never been able to eat all of what I want to eat because if it left up to my own devices, I'd be eating a whole bunch of bad stuff consistently. But I know I can't eat that way because I see the effects on my body immediately. Would you say that helped you because you had diabetes to regulate and create some good eating habits?
I can say it did help create some good eating habits. However, when I get out of that, I listened to everything my doctors and my mom and my dad told me when I was a kid. When I hit that teenage spot, you know, I was all, I ain't doing none of that. I want the apple juice. I'm going to drink that apple juice.
Wow.
You know, and so I would have a box of hot tamales every day. You know, I just totally went left, and so that would account for me being in the hospital every single year. I was like, pretty much they had my room ready for me because they already knew I was coming. Wow.
So you say you would be in the hospital every year. You mean that you would have some type of diabetic episode? And what would that be caused by? What would normally cause you to have to go in the hospital?
They call it ketoacidosis. And so your blood sugar is so high that your body is just eating the fat, and then there's no more fat. Because I used to be a chubby kid, and so I already knew, and then I went through this whole, I want to be skinny. So yeah, just let me keep my blood sugars high all the time. And I ain't even got to exercise. And that was, and so I went through the whole gamut. And so they knew me at the hospital. They knew me by first name.
Wow. I'm hearing something.
Like, hey, y'all, how y'all doing?
I'm sorry, Mocha. That's either you or either Pastor Tuck. I'm hearing it's like a rubbing or a clicking on the audio. It's no telling who it is. But my question is,
I'm on mute.
Okay. So Mocha, could you check your it could be your hair or maybe your earring, something might be rubbing your mic or something like that. But I want to go back to those episodes. If you could, what would you be eating, and what would be kind of be the whole process leading up to you to say Mocha's in the hospital, and was that a traumatic situation when that would happen? Because clearly, sometimes we can get used to things and it just kind of becomes a part of our life. But what would you be eating, and what would be those episodes that would say, okay, you got to go to the hospital?
Most of the time it was me just eating what I wanted to eat. I would wait until I left the house because my mom still kept everything healthy in the house. I would wait till I left the house, and I would hit up those candy machines at school. Wow.
And then what would happen?
Eventually, I could tell my body would because I played basketball as a kid. I played basketball all my life, so I know I wasn't as quick, and I don't know, it just kind of seemed lethargic. I was real lethargic, and I would be slow on getting my homework done, and it was just kind of like I'm coming type thing. And so, I knew it wasn't me, and I knew it would be coming. I was like, okay, any time now, I'm going to be so high that I know I'm going to have to go to the hospital. It was almost like I could sense it. It's coming. Wow.
The one time, it's two times I've had experience with somebody with a diabetic episode. One, the tour promoter years ago, we were in Germany, and the tour promoter had a diabetic episode. I'd never experienced it, but he just was kind of like, he was talking kind of crazy, and we was kind of like, huh? And then he said something else. We were like, what is Mr. Johnson talking about? And then I forgot who the female comedian was. Oh, it was D. Craig. D. Craig. She said, Mr. Johnson. She said, are you diabetic? And then he answered the question, and he wound up, she gave him some juice or something, and then he sat down. And within a little while, he was kind of back to himself. And I'd never experienced that before. I was like, oh man, that was very, like kind of really threw me off about how that happened. And then again, the other one was with Pastor Tuck. Again, I want him to share his testimony about that, because I as much as I could have, Pastor Tuck overcame diabetes. He made an immediate shift, and I'm not gonna give you a testimony. Pastor Tuck, come on in here and talk about your diagnosis and what you immediately did.
One of the things, just like you said, everybody got stuff. I've always liked candy, sweets, chips, like everybody else. And I'm one of those. I'm a compulsive type person. I like what I like,
right?
And I'll go through phases. I'll get a taste for blow pops, and I'll go get the big box from Sam's and keep them beside my bed.
Right.
I got that from my dad. My dad would always get like the big bags of mini candy bars and stuff like that. He always had that stuff in his room beside his bed where he watched TV at.
Right.
And so that's a habit that I picked up from my dad.
Mm-hmm.
And so I always would do that kind of stuff. And because I don't eat a lot, I'm not a big eater. I don't eat a lot of food,
mm-hmm.
So I snack. And so it would always be just the kind of little stuff that I liked. And especially during when stuff is going on, when I'm busy and stuff on my mind, it kind of becomes a habit.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Right.
And so I would just kind of go through my normal modes. And I guess certain times stuff would hit me, and like I said, and I'm a real taste guy, like sweet and salty kind of stuff really hits me.
Yeah.
You know, that always, yeah, you know, so, you know, if I'm going to do some Reese Cups, then I need some Stacks chips to go with that. You know what I'm saying? So, and so I went through a phase where I would get stuff like that and just kind of do it. And you're not paying attention to how much you're doing.
Right.
And we were going through a situation where a lot of stuff was going on. My mom had just got her cancer diagnosis. My wife was dealing with, you know, her situation. She was out of work and kids were at home, pandemic, church shut down, you know, everything was going on. And I'm handling everything, just not paying attention to my health because I'm kind of just going along.
Right.
And so kind of keep going along and doing stuff. And after a while, I noticed that, you know, I ended up having passing a kidney stone. And after I passed the kidney stone, you know, I ended up getting an infection in my mouth.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
And once I got the infection in my mouth, it was like I couldn't eat like I wanted to. So it was like I was living off of my mouth was so raw, I couldn't eat stuff like regular food. So I was doing like the little squeezed fruits, baby food, ginger ale. And see, I don't normally even drink sodas, but I didn't even think this is how oblivious I am because I haven't drank soda in so many years. I didn't even know ginger ale had sugar in it.
Yeah.
Didn't even think about it. Yeah. So I'm sitting there drinking ginger ale 100 miles an hour. I'm eating, you know, applesauce and all that kind of stuff.
But you know, black folks think ginger ale is herbal tea. You know what
exactly.
You gotta give me some ginger ale. Just got all kind of calories and sugar in it.
Exactly. And so I'm not thinking about any of this stuff. And so I'm just kind of going along and I'm feeling worse.
Yeah.
Instead of better. And I'm kind of just going along. And I'm starting to notice that I'm slowing down. And I just can't figure out what's going on. And I'm feeling worse and worse to the point that my mind started to slow down. And my mind is always running.
Right.
But I can't figure it out. And I remember it was the last week of November. And I right about the third week of November, and I had to preach for my pastor that Wednesday. And I preached for him that Wednesday on Zoom. And that Thursday was our normal service. I told my wife, I said, I'm gonna have to do a replay Thursday. I said, because I can't even get myself together to do our service Thursday.
Right. Let me jump in. I'm coming to your comments, and I'm coming back to Mocha. Tell me what happened that day, Pastor Tuck. What led it to that day when because Pastor Stephanie called me. It must have was like, I don't know. It might be like 12 o'clock at night. And I knew something was up because Pastor Stephanie rarely calls me. I always talk to Pastor Stephanie through Pastor Tuck. So when I got a call from her at midnight, I'm like, what's going on? So I immediately pick up the phone and she's like, your brother is not doing well. What led up to that?
She preached for me Sunday because I couldn't even preach Sunday. She preached for me Sunday and I was supposed to have been trying to rest and I still couldn't get it together. And so she called you and I remember you called me that night. You were like, how you doing? I'm like, I'm all right. You were like, no, you're not. You said, and I'm like, I'm all right. You was like, no, you're not. You said, because your wife had called me, and I said, and that's when we started joking, because I'm like, somebody snitching on me now. And so you tell me you need to go to the doctor. He did. And I was like, nah. I said, I'm good. I said, the Lord ain't told me to go to the doctor. Right. And I had a doctor's appointment scheduled for that Wednesday. And I said, once I talked to the doctor Wednesday, I said, if he tell me something wrong, I said, I'll take care of it. I said, but I'm all right. I said, I'll be all right. Because I'm one of the ones, I don't move unless the Lord tell me to move. I said, so. And
what did I say? I said, the Lord, your wife do. I ain't told you through the Lord.
Yep. I said, man, Lord, I said, man, Lord ain't told me nothing. That's I'm good. And in the meantime, I was going to the bathroom about every hour, still not knowing what the symptoms were.
Yeah.
And I literally couldn't sleep. I was so tired because I'm literally waking up on the hour. I can look at the clock and exactly 60 minutes later, I'm up going to the bathroom.
Wow.
And so it was like literally like that on the hour. And so that night, after I got off the phone, I did the same thing. So I think it was about 6 o'clock that morning, I got up and I knew I'm waking my wife up every time I get up. So I said, I'm going to go downstairs and lay down so I don't bother her.
Right.
And I went downstairs and laid down in the bedroom downstairs. And I said, well, I'll just text my daughter when she get up to bring me some more ice, another ginger ale. Mm-hmm. And so I'm laying down there. So I did that. And so I'm laying down there kind of going in and out of sleep. Mm-hmm. And I guess about 2:30, I text her because I heard the Lord say, "Get your wife to check your blood sugar." Literally, He spoke to me just like that. Get your wife to check your blood sugar. And I've never had diabetes. Never checked my blood sugar in my life.
Right.
But my wife had been a diabetic because she had gestational diabetes with our youngest, and it stayed around. And so I knew she had a glucometer. So I texted her. She said, "Well, I'm getting ready to get in the shower. I'll come down and check it when I finish." I said, "Okay." So I dozed back off. And so I guess about an hour or so later, she came down and she woke me up because she was trying to prick my finger. And she checked my blood sugar like 3 times and the machine wouldn't read it.
Wow.
And she started getting scared. And so she said, and I looked at her, I said, "It's okay, baby." I said, "I'll go to the hospital." And so I knew at that point she was scared. So I said, "I'll go to the hospital." And I said, "Well, you can tell the girls to take me." And my oldest daughter was in a virtual meeting for school. So I told her, I said, whenever she finished, it'd be fine. And I said, well, matter of fact, I said, send her to the smoothie place and get me a smoothie first, because I hadn't eaten all day. And I was like, and I know how the emergency room is. You're being there for hours. I said, I'm going to be in here and I'm going to be nauseous. I said, see, go get me a smoothie first. I said, and then they can take me. Right. So they go to the smoothie place, go get me a smoothie. They brought it back and I tried to drink some of it and it burned my throat. And so I just said, go put that in the freezer and just go ahead and take me. And when we got over there, they took my blood sugar. My blood sugar was 875.
Woo. I don't know how you're still here.
And they were looking
now. But Mocha, if your blood sugar is 875, what does that mean? Break that down for somebody like myself who doesn't know.
That means you're in ketoacidosis.
Yes.
That's where mine was over 800 too, except for I was a kid.
Wait, and so when you say ketoacidosis, I mean, but what is that like?
That means your kidneys are about to shut down.
Okay, everything. Your blood vessels ain't doing what they're supposed to do. Ain't nothing going to be working right. Ain't nothing working right in your body at that point, because now there's nothing but acid shooting through your body.
So is that how people have strokes and heart attacks?
Yes. Your total system has just gone toxic at that point.
Wow.
Because everything has just become acidic.
Wow.
Your whole body chemistry is off, and it's starting to basically it's about to start killing your organs if you stay in that condition.
Okay, let me read some comments, and then let me get some of this technical advice from Mocha. Marion Motley's in the building. How you doing, Sister Marion? Rialto, California in the house. Brother Larry Keys, what's up, my brother, my friend? How you doing, sir? Loretta Spivey, what's up, sis? She said good morning to you all. Thank you. Larry Keys said, what up, listening while I work. Come on, brother, we appreciate it. Michelle Hall, what's up, Michelle? Statesboro, Georgia in the house. She said, Lord, I need help. Emotional eater here. Come on, sis. I admit it. There you go. Admitting it is the first step. Brother Keys said, Lil Debbie's, that girl got me messed up. Hey, Brother Keys, brother, Lil Debbie used to be my crack. I'm telling you, I could eat 4, 5, 6 of them doggone oatmeal pies straight. And I ain't talking about the little ones. I'm talking about the thick ones, the big ones. Ashley Bailey said, Burger King Whoppers are my weakness, especially after working out. Really? Hold on, Ashley. After you work out, you eat a Burger King Whopper after you work out. But I know the thinking behind it. It's like, well, I did the right thing. Let me have a treat. Leslie Ashley said, coffee drinks are my biggest calories killer. Yeah. That's my crack right there. That's my current situation right there. Takesha Waller, make sure you stay around, Lakeisha. I got to tell you something. Takesha Waller said, mine too, Leslie. Leslie Ashley said, my calories are definitely more empty than yours, Pastor Tuck. Okay. She said, when I went gluten-free, my husband hid bread, LOL. Hilarious. Yeah. I'm skip down here. Kimberly Morgan said, I used to have seizures. Wow. From 18 months to 18. And if I didn't eat like I was supposed to or try to skip a meal, it would cause me to have a seizure. Wow. So what was that? Was that epilepsy, or was that
low blood sugars? Low
blood sugars. Okay. Wow. Okay, we got Mark in here spamming. Was that Mark been in here before spamming? Mark ain't found out yet? Kimberly is on him.
She's on.
Let's say, chips, that is my weakness. I can't buy chips. I will eat a whole bag at once. Yes. Them Utz, them hot ones that I had Donna eating the other day. I'm sorry, Donna. I'm sorry.
I was like, what in the world is this?
I apologize. I'm just a drug dealer.
A little bit. Tastes a little bit.
Look at Kimberly. She said salt and vinegar. It's somebody must check. Make sure For some reason, we got a little bit of an echo. That could be my headphones too, from Donna. Demond Cherry said, Pastor Tuck, you must have been craving candy or having a phase when I was there, because you brought them Starbursts that I've only seen in South Carolina. You know what? That's right. See, Pastor Tuck, I forgot about that. He do like them Starbursts. And then Pastor Tuck done turned me on.
Demond Cherry bought them Starbursts. I didn't even get none in South Carolina. I found them because of Demond Cherry.
No, but here's the thing about Pastor Tuck. Pastor Tuck has turned me on to a couple of things that turn out to be crack for me. Because see, what I do is I'll eat a thing and I'll just eat it. And then I'm tired of it and then I'm done with it. And I'll either cycle out later on or I won't mess with it ever again. It was a couple of things that I was with Pastor Tuck and I ate, and I was like, boy, that's good right there. God dog, where you find that at? And then it was something we had, it was a drink we had, but I hadn't been able to find down here. So that's probably the only reason I don't drink those. Ashley Bailey said kidney stones are demonic. Yeah.
Yes, they are.
Yeah. Donna is very okay. My mother-in-law is in the building. E. Mitchell. Let me say this right here. My mother-in-law is the very definition of why you should eat right. She is, I'm not going to tell her age, but if she wants to share her age, she can. But you would never think that she is her age. And she is probably in better shape than all of us, her children, me as being her son in love, and then her, like, I teach you this all the time. I say, your mama is in better shape than you are. She can get on the ground, do all kind of exercises, push-ups, sit-ups, stretches, all of that with no problem. And but Unissa would tell me, she said my mom she said she would cook, she wouldn't use little to no salt, and she would boil things before she would either fry them, or she had different steps. And I was like, you know what? I said those little steps right there. I said that's why she's in the shape that she is at her age, right? Those little small steps, those little disciplines that you teach yourself along the way is for your later years. And again, it's living proof. I always give my mom credit for. I was raised as a Muslim, so I didn't eat pork, and we didn't eat white flour. We only the Muslim diet is much more holistic, much more natural. So I grew up, even the stuff that I was eating, the sweets like carrot cake or whatever, it was carrot cake. It was whole milk. It was wheat flour, and again, that's flour, but it's still it's not white pasteurized bleached sugar or bleached flour. My point is saying that is I had some better eating habits. Most of my bad eating habits came after I became an adult. Once I got out of the house, eating on the road, oh my God. Eating on the road is okay. We talking too much. I gotta make sure I get to Mocha time. Mocha, come back in, sis. And it seems as though we all have some habits that are affecting us in the short run and in the long run. And let's talk about some of the things, Mocha, that we are currently eating that are on the shelves in the grocery stores that's causing us quiet problems or loud problems, meaning we don't know that this is causing us small little problems along the way. And then there's some other things that are more long-term issues. If you continue to do that, you won't see it maybe now, but you might see it in 10, 15, 20 years.
Okay. So the big one that a lot of people aren't aware of are really your fruits that you eat at the grocery store. There's a difference between your organic fruits, and I was like, a lot of people don't know when the fruit comes in, either it's going to have pesticides on it.
Gosh.
Or, I was like, and those are the ones that aren't organic. And so the traditional fruit, and the thing is the stickers on the fruit all mean something. If it's like a four number, like a 4692 or something like that, that means it's traditional. So they didn't put pesticides on it to keep the bugs off of it.
Wow.
That's usually your cheaper fruit. And the thing is, a lot of people don't know, okay, but I'm feeding the fruit to my kids and I'm eating the fruit. It's good for you. What you don't know is that you are actually eating pesticides every time you do that. And then there's even another little sticker on them, which if you don't pay attention to it, you're going to miss it. There's one that looks like a little like a flower or a little potted plant, and it's. I was like, what does this sticker mean? That means they didn't hit it with gamma rays.
They did?
Yep. I was like, there's actually. I was like, and the spices are the exact same thing. I was like, there are gamma rays. I was like, I don't want to be. I'm not trying to be Incredible Hulk. Why would you hit the fruits with that? For the same reason. It's like the pesticide thing. They trying to get rid of all the bugs and all the stuff like that. So
gamma rays.
Yes. And I was like, you got to be joking me. This is when I got upset, because I was like, okay, they just poisoning everybody and don't nobody know it. And they say, and it's approved by the FDA.
Okay.
So it's all a big Ponzi scheme. It's like, so if they can make everybody sick from the food, you're going to go to the doctor. Okay, so the doctor gets their piece of the change, and then the doctor is going to send you to the pharmaceuticals. You're going to need some medicines. I was like, they ain't trying to fix it. And as a matter of fact, they ain't making it any better. Especially like my dad, he's older, and they gave him a medicine for his high blood pressure. Okay, well that caused something else. Okay, well now you need a medicine to fix that.
Amen.
And now that and they just keep stacking it up. So I was like, okay, well let's just work on your food.
Wow.
If we can work on your food, let's just get rid of it. And so now my dad don't take no medicine.
Wow. Okay, that was some good information there. Okay, so
so they do that with the fruit. Look, and they also do that with your spices. I was like, if it's not organic spices, because those come in from overseas, and they don't tell you some of that stuff when it's overseas. You got bugs going through it. You got, rodents going through it. So they got to fix it before they put it on the shelves here. So when they process it, they're putting pesticides on it. Or I was like, again, they're putting it through the gamma rays. So unless you hitting that organic spices, then you slowly putting poison on everything.
So in other words, if we're eating any fruits or if we're eating any spices, they have to be organic unless we are compromising ourselves. Because when you eat fruit, you feel as though I'm doing the right thing. I just ate 2 apples this morning, as opposed to I'm gonna eat my lunch later, right? But I just ate 2 apples. I felt good about my 2 apples. I didn't look at the sticker. I just grabbed some apples out the bag in the kitchen. My question to you is what are those apples even any good that I ate? Because I felt like I'm doing the right thing.
I know, and that's what's crazy. If you start doing organic fruit for a long extended period of time, and it doesn't take that long, like about a month or 2.
Okay.
When you have a regular fruit, you can taste it. You will automatically taste it and be like, you know what? There's something on there. It's nasty. And your stomach is actually going to react. Well, at least mine does. I don't know if everybody does that.
Wow.
But my stomach, if I know when something had chemicals on it, because my stomach automatically, I was like, I'll be back.
Wow. So you said
it's automatic.
If you eat organic fruits for 30 days or so, your taste buds in your body is going to alert you when you're eating fruit that has pesticides or that they hit with gamma rays. Because right now I can tell you the honest God's truth. I can't tell. Now I do when I go to the store, I oftentimes buy organic fruits, but I don't always buy organic fruits. Sometimes I just grab something, and sometimes I'm like, oh no, let me get organic grapes or the organic apples. So you're saying that you have to get organic fruits. So let me ask you. Let me come for Pastor Tuck and Papa Earl's. Papa Earl's. I ain't had a chance to read Papa Earl's latest comment. Pastor Tuck and Papa Earl's eat these oranges. All right. This is the question I really want to get. All right. I know Pastor Tuck gonna come for me. They eat these oranges, right? Now I think there's some crack cocaine or at least some heroin in the oranges, because Pastor Tuck, he buys them by the pound, and the guy only comes around every few weeks or so, and they only are in season, out of season, and they're very sweet. In my mind, it's got to be something wrong with them oranges. What's your thoughts, Mocha, on the oranges?
Look, I love the oranges too, as long as they have seeds. And I don't know, there was a book look, and I know some of them, the little mandarin oranges, some of them don't have seeds. I'd be like, nah, give that back.
Yeah.
But I don't know. The oranges and bananas, because they kind of have a coating. You know, we're talking about pesticides. I was like, they have a coating. But if you having something like an apple or grapes or something like that, that is just out in the open, you probably need, if you, because I know organic food is more expensive. I already know. So and that has a lot to do with, you know, the fact that they have to go through the extra to keep the bugs off of it.
Right.
And I understand that. So you're paying them for their time and their effort. I get that. So if you find yourself in one of those situations, you said the little stuff that your mom and love does, you know, the extra.
Yeah.
I was like, so what you can do, I was like, is put everything in like your sink and put some water, and you need some like white vinegar.
So you can wash the pesticides off with the white vinegar?
You can wash it, and you need that, and you need like a brush that's just used for vegetables. And like, let it soak for like 20 minutes, and then blueberries are a pain in the butt because there's a lot of blueberries. But the thing is, you can do it, and I was like, it just takes, it's the extra.
I got to bathe my fruit now.
You got to bathe the fruit. Bathe the fruit, and I was like, and then you dry it, and then put it away.
Jesus Lord,
it's a lot, and I was like, however, in the long run, you know, you doing yourself a service. But that's something that they're not going to tell everybody to wash your fruit. They just say run it under the water. Okay, well, running it under the water is cool, but you just getting like people's fingerprints off of it.
Wow. Pop Earl said, Pastor Tuck, our oranges are blessed and organic. I think them oranges got like one seed in them. I think they got like I don't know if they have the I don't know. I'm cutting up. I always mess with them about them. Them oranges are really good and organic, or they're really bad and crack worthy. It's either one of the two. But I think fruit in general. I think today it's sad for me that we have to determine whether fruit is organic, because to me, fruit's supposed to be organic. When you're eating fruit, you're doing the right thing. But now you can be eating fruit, and how bad, Mocha, if I'm eating a pack of Annihilators or a Snicker bar versus some fruit with some pesticides or gamma rays on it, it sounds like to me I might as well go and have me a Snicker bar. Is it what's worse?
The candy and stuff is going to be worse, only because I was like, yes, your stuff has pesticides on it. However, keep in mind that there's still some nutrient value in your fruits.
Yeah.
And it's still supposed to do what it's supposed to do. I was like, however, your candy, it has zero nutritional value.
Okay.
There's a difference between eating a piece of fruit that's covered in pesticide and eating a pesticide bar or pesticide chips like you do.
This is from the man who eats a bag of pork rinds and crackling daily. Talk to Pastor Tuck. I'm coming to y'all comments. I see y'all got some questions. I'm coming to y'all comments, but talk to Pastor Tuck a minute, Mocha, about them pork rinds that he's consuming on a daily basis.
Sub it out, Pastor Tuck. I love you. Sub it out. Just sub it out for something else.
Sub it out.
I did for those chemical chips that I'll be eating.
Well, what chemical chips? No, I'm talking about no.
Them same chips you tried to turn Donna on yesterday.
You ate some of those Utz? You got a bag of those Utz?
All them bags of Utz that I used to eat. That's how I ended up in the hospital in the first place.
Well, I didn't turn you on them Utz. You was eating them Utz for you. No, I see now. Them Virginia Utz. Them ain't no South Carolina Utz.
Yeah, all Utz come from Pennsylvania. Thank you.
Who knows that? Who? How does he?
That's how long I was on that foolishness.
Jean sang on the stool. This is a question for you, Mocha. She said, "Is it better to buy locally grown produce? I prefer to shop the farmers market for fruits and vegetables."
Absolutely, hands down. Especially if you have allergies. A lot of people don't know your local honey from your local bees. I was like, it's going to help you with that big time.
really? Donna, you need to go get some allergies because Donna came in here. She was like sneezing.
Man. Yeah.
I was like,
I got to get the honey.
Yes, your local people with those local bees. Those bees be doing the thing. I was like, it will take care of your allergies. It'll calm it down huge.
Wow.
Because you're basically eating pollen, so you're getting your system is getting acclimated to the pollen that's in your region.
That's awesome. Interesting.
I have a question for Mocha.
Donna, mute yourself in Clubhouse. We got you coming through my board.
Okay, there you go. Okay, great.
All right.
Okay, so Mocha, I just want to jump over a little bit to sugar. Okay, so from what I understand, that sugar lights up the same receptors or whatever in your brain as cocaine does. So when we give sugar to our kids, like through sodas and these cereals and some of the just carbs, period, that turn to sugar, not the complex carbs, but just the regular chips and whatever that turn to sugar, what should we be giving our children? Like, what should we be giving them in terms of snacks or, just healthy
Good
foods?
question.
What should we be giving them?
Man, I love snacks. I was like, man, snacks are my jam.
Right.
I was like, okay, so nuts. I was like, basically almonds, but here's the deal. Because I said I like dates before. So the pitted dates, and not medjool dates, because those are sweet.
Right.
They put sugar on those, but I'm talking like Deglet dates. I was like, most of them are pitted. If you can get the ones that are pitted, look, I have my kid doing this, and she didn't know. It's almost, look, I feel like it's crack too. I was like, I have her take the walnut, and I was like, and shove the walnut in that place where that date was.
Okay.
So now you have a date covered with, I was like, a walnut covered with a date, and it's sweet and it's good for you at the same time.
Okay.
And and my daughter, she wants to be a chef, so she be trying to figure out, the stuff in the fast food restaurants. She will figure out the healthy version of it and make it in the air fryer.
Okay.
And
That's
I was
good.
like, so that's kind of her jam. So the Chick-fil-A's, which Chick-fil-A is not nearly as bad as like your McDonald's or anything like that. But
Right.
my child didn't figure out how to make chicken McNuggets and make them healthy.
Wow.
That's good.
How old is your daughter? You said 15?
Yeah, she's 15.
Wow. Now, I've seen this thing. Donna and I were talking about this earlier. I've seen this thing recently where I just saw this on YouTube, a story. Or that might have been on the news. Either way, that children like 4 and 3 years old are having to get all of their teeth pulled because of juice. And like their teeth are just either rotten or falling out or whatever. So how, like with this juice because as parents, you figure I'm giving my child some quote unquote healthy juice. But what can you give a child to drink now?
Okay, not juice, because juice has just as much sugar content as like your soda.
Wow.
Gosh.
Wow.
Yeah, so a lot of kids don't like it. However, I was like, the more you drink it, the more you get used to it. Like water, I was like, but not. Look, even the water's funny because they be messing with the water.
Alkaline.
I was like, that's another whole thing. I was like, but
Good
like
Lord.
let's say some spring water, and I have kids put it in the refrigerator the night before. But the deal is, like, if you like watermelon or whatever fruit it is that you like, cut up the watermelon, and I was like, and put a slice of watermelon in it, and then put it in the refrigerator overnight. By the time you get it in the morning, you've done made your own juice.
But see, the problem is though, it's not sweet though.
I was like, but it is. I was just like, because that especially if you have a sweet watermelon, it has it's like the aftertaste. It's like you'll get an aftertaste of whatever fruit you put in it.
Wow.
And I was like, and all of a sudden it's flavored water. And I was like, and they'll drink the flavored water. I remember when those packets came out that you were supposed to put in your bottled water, and everybody would shake them up, and it was a thing. Well, at the time it seemed like it was a good idea until they proved that wrong. However, you can still get the bottled water. It's just that get the bottled water, put your own fruit in it, make your own fruit flavors.
Good Lord.
It's okay.
It is so much stuff.
It's a lot.
It really is.
Iced tea. I was like, drink the iced tea. A lot of kids think it's colored water. They were like, that's nasty. It's colored water.
But even us with the iced tea, the way we make tea, that tea is about bad as Kool-Aid.
You know what? I found it depends because where you are. Because I found in the South, because I lived in Georgia, you know, I lived in Atlanta for a little bit.
Okay. Yeah.
People would get offended, especially if I went to South Carolina. I felt like they was offended when I said, give me iced tea, and they gave me the sugar tea. So I had to start ordering, give me tea with no sugar.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't say unsweetened tea because they would still say it's sweet tea. And I was like, no sugar. And they would look at me like, what's wrong with you?
Oh, yeah. Below the Mason-Dixon line, I mean, that's real talk right there. Up north, New York, New Jersey, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, those states, people don't drink sweet tea. California, when I was in California, I was like that's the first time I got hit with some unsweetened tea. I was like, what is this? It's like, it's tea. I said, where the sugar at? It was like, oh yeah, no. If you want sugar, you can add it. Who drinks? That was like my first. I was probably like 24. That was my first time drinking unsweetened tea, ordering tea, and I could get sweet tea nowhere. That like blew my mind. Let me read some of y'all comments.
I want to jump in here and ask this one question real quick.
Go ahead, Don.
Okay, while you're looking in the comments. Mocha, so, take this. There's a family of 5 or whatever. Somebody has, a husband and wife have 5 kids, okay. They are not going to do they just don't have time, energy, whatever, to do the organic water, put this stuff in and whatever. But they need something that they can do quickly out the store from the shelf. Is there something healthy to give their kids that they can do, because we got soccer practice, we got this, we got that. We don't have time to do that. But I want to give my kids something healthy and, and not sodas, not juices, because we've discussed that. But I need to give them something besides water, which they won't drink all the time. They'll drink sometime, but we need something.
Right.
So what do you suggest off the shelf?
It's called Uber Beats. Drink that water because I said so.
They'll be like, nah, I'm not drinking that. Okay.
Okay. So
is there something?
Unfortunately, everything has something in it. So it's going to be a matter of whatever you and your family like to eat. Let's say if you got the family with 5 kids or whatever, okay, mom and dad are going to have to take the helm. That's how come I'm called to mostly moms, because mom is the one that's cooking for everybody.
Yeah.
Mom is the one that goes shopping.
Right.
So however mom shops and eats, that's what the family's going to eat.
Right.
So as a kid, we didn't have a choice. I was like, whatever my mom cooked, I'd be like, I don't want that. She'd be like, well, then I guess you ain't eating.
Right. Right. Right.
I was like, it was just a
Say that.
We already knew what it was. And look, a couple of times doing that, all of a sudden you'd be like, you know what? This ain't so bad.
Ain't so bad. Yep.
And so it's one of those, you're going to have to take the time. And so the meal prep comes in. That's where meal prep comes in. For kids, a good snack on the go is blueberries, of all things. Blueberries give kids a lot of energy. Wow. And they taste good. It's almost like eating candy. They taste good and they're good for them. And so it gives you energy, especially if you're an athlete. A lot of people don't know that. I was like, blueberries. Wow. Just take some blueberries and eat them on the way.
And here's the thing: anything you do for 30 days is a habit. Anything you do for 90 days is a lifestyle. So if you somehow can figure out, you're not even figure out, make yourself do it. You just have to make yourself, whether that's a parent, whether that's I'm saying this to myself. There's some things that I simply have to not do, stop doing, and do more of. There's some other things that I have to do more of. So and for me, it's just settle. However, if I want to look healthy and feel healthy when I'm of a certain age, then I got to make those decisions now at 51, so that I can be where I want to be. I don't want to be in anywhere debilitated, or I want to be active. I want to be old directing movies like Clint Eastwood. Clint Eastwood, 90s. What is he? 95.
He might be older than that now.
That joker is. Clint Eastwood still putting out movies. Now he looking a little frail on the last couple. I'm like, Clint, you it's time to cast somebody else in these leads. But anyway, but he's still making it. He's still putting out good product, and his joker's still making good money. Yeah. So at 90-some years old, if anybody knows how old, 92. Thank you, Kimberly. 92. Kimberly just dropped in. 92 years old. Wow. 92 years old. Janice Johnson said natural Kool-Aid.
Hey, Janice. Natural Kool-Aid
equals water fruit, Swerve, or okay. This is a formula, so she's giving us an alternative. Okay, I got you, Janice. She said water, fruit, Swerve, or xylitol. Xylitol. Okay. Any all natural sugar. Soda Stream carbonated. Well, I have seen these. Soda Stream carbonated water adds your fresh squeezed fruit. Okay. Now. Thank you, Janice, for that recipe.
Sister.
Yes, Sister Johnson. Atlanta's in the house. Mocha. So, like, I drink Welch's. Grape juice. So I told my son the other day, I said, bring me back some Welch's grape juice. He said, this was like, get some juice and get this juice. I said, no, get me some Welch's grape juice. And I said it with a little bit of arrogance to it. So is that Welch's grape juice any better than that other concentrated grape juice?
No.
Huh?
No.
No.
I was just a straight no.
Not at all. God, dog.
I was like, look, if you want juice,
you know how much sugar you just drank?
If you want juice, squeeze it yourself. I was like, and if you find out how hard it is to make grape juice, because I've tried it, I was like, you know what? It really ain't that serious. I'll just have some grapes.
Wow. She said, if you knew how hard it is to make grape juice. Yeah, I guess. And I guess there's no way to get grape juice that dark and that thick without some type of pasteurization or something unnatural.
It's not even that. It's how much fruit that it requires to make juice. If you squeeze one orange and look at how much juice comes out of it and realize how many oranges you have to actually eat to get a glass of orange juice, you realize how much sugar you consume. See, you talking to somebody who's a straight juiceaholic. I used to drink juice by the gallon.
Wow.
And that's why I eat so much fruit, because that's my addiction, and I can't drink juice, and that's why I don't drink anything but water.
Wow.
Well, let me say, one of my friends, let me put this out to him, told me, now I know it's purely a myth, told me that if you drink Welch's grape juice, it helps you be more virile.
Yeah, your friend.
I was like,
maybe he was talking about for communion.
And I was like, how does that work? He was like, yes. I was told that this is, if you drink Welch's grape juice and mix with something, that it will, you're more virile.
You can't take medical or nutritional advice from the barbershop. You can't. That's something somebody in the barbershop say, I'm going to tell you what I eat. I'm going to tell you, bro.
Yep.
Hey, bro. That Welch's grape juice. That hey, you right. I'm telling
right.
you. Like, really?
Exactly.
Now he drinking and welcome. Yeah. Okay. Tell your friend no.
I'm gonna say no.
Look, everybody in the comments laughing. Look at Janice. Let's crack it up.
Make a comment real quick,
please.
Ms. Donna, so I'm thinking still about the family thing. So meal prep. I was like, if you cook everything on a Sunday and put it in the freezer, now your kids, whether you're there or not, your kids have free reign to go put it, go heat it up.
Right.
It's already ready.
Right.
They can do that, but again, it requires time.
Right.
Yeah.
What about
and I was like, and if the time is a huge thing, use that crock pot. Put it to good use. Dump everything in the morning, and you good to go. By the time the evening comes, you ain't got to worry about it.
Now, what about the drinks though too? That's what I was referring to. Like, what about the drinks? What can you give them besides water?
Sunny D. Water. Drink Sunny D.
No.
They would love to drink that, but I want
Mocha. Stay out of this conversation. This is my territory. Water. You the one that work. You the one pay the bills. Don't buy nothing but water. They won't drink nothing but water, because if they get thirsty enough, they gonna drink water.
Yeah. That is true.
Stop bowing to children. Children don't have no job. They ain't got no money. Stop bowing to children. Buy water.
But even you want a change from drinking water all the time.
And you don't need nothing but water.
What do you?
You don't need. And you don't need nothing but water.
We don't need that, but we want something different sometimes other than just drinking plain water.
It's tight, but it's right though. It's tight. It's a hard
and that's
saying.
And she just told you, if you want something else, throw some cucumber, throw a piece of melon in that pitcher of water and flavor it up.
And then you always, if it's not down where you go, hey, come here, what did I say?
What's on the shelf? Is there anything on the shelf that you could get from the grocery store
if it's
that
Nope.
satisfies those qualifications?
Donna, if it's,
So is
Nope.
that
if it's
a no?
not,
Nope.
if it's not
Okay.
on aisle
Absolutely
one,
not.
if it's not on aisle
Absolutely
one,
not.
it's bad. It's bad.
Okay.
Absolutely not, because the only thing in the grocery store that's going to be considered healthy is juice, and that's got a ton of sugar in it.
Right. Right.
And here's the whole thing. And we are so over time. This is a good conversation. Like we
This
got to
is
go
great.
because we
This
got
is
to
great.
we got another room coming up on in the Kingdom Business Network.
Okay.
I'm gonna give Mocha the last comment for the day. I don't have time to go back to the comments, y'all. Although y'all are dropping bombs in the comment, I see y'all get some good revelation, some good steps moving forward, and then but Mocha, because we are totally out of time, I'm gonna give you the last say for the day in terms of what we need to be doing to make sure that we are walking in the proper health, the proper level of success, that we're aging gracefully, as my mother-in-law has and is. What do we need to do, sis? Sum it up for us.
Check your ingredients, check your labels. Sleep. Make sure you get sleep. That's a huge part of it. It's like, because your body can't work.
Don't say nothing, Pastor Tuck. Don't say nothing.
They can't. The insides can't work.
Don't say nothing. Don't say.
Look, that's a huge one for a lot of people.
Hey, right here.
So that has a lot to do with your cravings. Believe it or not, your sleep has a lot to do with your cravings.
Yeah, it does.
Y'all want to know? It's just like my biggest takeaway from for you guys would be check your ingredients and watch your portions.
Check your ingredients. Watch your portions and get some sleep.
Yes.
All right. Check your ingredients. Watch your portions and get some sleep. All right. Papa Earl said, the liberal soul shall be made fat, and he that watereth shall be watered also himself. Proverbs 11:25. Jason's good with water. Pastor says sparkling mineral water with fruit essence, no artificial sweetness. Hey, here's the thing, y'all. Ultimately, unless we all have had things that happen in our body that wasn't either our fault or may come from genetics. So there's different factors. I mean, I don't think that Mocha, that you were diabetic at 9 due to your own causing. That was something that was genetically in your body that maybe
My liver actually wasn't working right.
your liver wasn't working right. Okay, there it is. Mocha, we gotta have you back on. This is some good stuff, and I want you to challenge us even some more. Now, we might have to bring you on in lieu of Dr. Dale. Dr. Dale is I want to bring Dr. Dale on just because Dr. Dale is so off the chain. But I tell you what though,
I'm not coming.
I tell you what, but here's the whole thing. Let me tell you something. I tell people, let me stop music. If I tell people, if I ever got, again, I believe God, I never will get any type of chronic, any type of a terminal illness. I believe that is my faith. I stand on that. I tell people though, if you ever have any type of major diagnosis, and if you have some time, if you have a crisis at that moment, it's a medical situation. But if you get a diagnosis and you have some time, I would check the natural routes before you just do something extreme medical. That's my personal opinion. Now, you have to live your own convictions and do what the Lord tells you to do. But I remember that my mother's testimony was that she got a cancer diagnosis. She went to the doctor. The doctor gave her some steps. She refused to do it, and she decided not to go back to the doctor. When she went to another doctor about 3 years later, that doctor was like, "Oh, you should have done that," and he told her off and all this stuff, and you probably got cancer all over your body now. And she said when she got, the nurse called back and wanted to let you know that you have no cancer in your body.
Amen.
But she went a drastically natural route. She cut meat. She cut all sugars. Like to this day, she don't eat no sugar. If you go in my mom's house, it's nuts and fruits, a lot of grains, a lot of nuts, a lot of rice. I'm sorry, not even rice. What's the rice substitute?
Quinoa.
Quinoa. I never even ate quinoa until I went to my mom's house. And she eats these creative creative vegetable dishes with spices that she created, and they're very good. I said, Mom, you need a cooking show, because I'm like, first of all, how did you come up with this? She might take something. She'll take like nuts and put them and grind them up and put them with some what's the fat, the healthy fat, the green avocado. She'll take like nuts and some avocados, and she'll grind up and with some kale or something, and put some these like onion powder or something in it, and it's just amazing dip. I'm like, what is that? That tastes amazing. And then she tells me what's in it. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, and so I always say to her, I say, we could do this if we had some teaching and we took some more time. And at the end of the day, if our body, our health is our responsibility.
Amen.
And Mocha, thank you, sis, for coming on today and blessing us.
Thank y'all for having me. I appreciate it. I love y'all.
Well, we love you too.
Love you too. Thank you.
Thanks for always coming through and being in the comments and adding great value. And thanks for listening and being part of the Ox Show family. Let me give a quick shout out real quick. Speaking of Ox Show family, I'm sorry, y'all. We are totally out of time. We are up against another room coming up on Clubhouse. But let me shout my sister out here. Hold on. Where is it? There it is. Takesha Waller, certificate of completion. This is presented to Takesha Waller for completion of the HEART, HEART certification training, active until June 30th, 2024. Shout out to Takesha, and she has a certification number marked out. But yeah, she is, and she got this from the NCCU. So congratulations to Takesha Waller. I thought I would definitely shout her out and give her flowers. Yes, yeah. Give her flowers here today. So, y'all, we got to get up out of here. Let me see here. All right, we got to go. We are way over time, but thank you again, Mocha. And got to have you back on. Yes. Donna, reach out to you and book you to be back on the show. Matter of fact, Mocha, if you could shoot me and Donna directly, if you DM us your personal information so that we can keep in contact with you and have you back on the show. Yes. All right.
Okay, will do. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, y'all, we got to get up out of here. For real. I said that just now. And talked again, but it's 11:57. All right, that's Donna J. Pastor Lewis Tuck is all sees on audio only today on vacation. Jason had to hop off and go to a meeting. We got Tristan producing in the back. Hey, listen, we love y'all. We thank y'all. We don't take it lightly at all. This is the Akintunde Show. We're here every Tuesday and Thursday, 10 o'clock a.m. on Clubhouse, on Facebook Live, on YouTube Live, on Twitter Live, and coming up Thursday on IamAkintunde.com Live as well. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. Until next time, until Thursday, we're going to see y'all when we see y'all. Peace.
Go download the My Church channel.
Daily I share.
It's the